Hello and welcome to the Daily Roundup. I am Sumedha.
And I am Prashant, and here are the major stories for the day.
Kashmir caged, a fact-finding team has presented its report on the situation in the valley. 6 accused in the Pehluu Khan lynching case are now acquitted. There are large-scale protests that are erupting in the Narmada Valley over the submersion of villages, and life of about 32,000 families is at stake. In Sikkim, the BJP is now the principal opposition party. In our international news, we'll be talking about Saudi Arabia, where the dissident has been asked to deny torture. In Peru, the Tia Maria license has been temporarily suspended. Now, moving on to our first story of the day, anger in Kashmir over the abrogation of Article 370 is rising, says a fact-finding team which is comprising of John Dress, the economist, Kavita Krishnan of the Communist Party of India Marxist-Leninist, and Mauna Kea of the All India Democratic Women's Association. Alongside these people, Vimal Bhai of the National Alliance of People's Movements was also a part of this team, and they travelled extensively across Kashmir for about 5 days from August 9. Unlike the mainstream media and the government and the BJP spokespersons, the team has found that the valley is not happy with the new developments. There is intense and virtually unanimous anger in Kashmir against the Indian government's decision to abrogate Articles 370 and 35A, and also about the way in which this has been done. To control this anger, the government has imposed curfew-like conditions in Kashmir. Except for some ATMs, chemist shops, and police stations, most establishments are closed for now. The clampdown on public life and effective imposition of curfew have also crippled economic life in Kashmir, and that too at the time of Bakar Eid festival that is meant for abundance and celebration. People are living in the fear of harassment from the government, army, and the police. People express their anger freely in informal conversation, but no one was willing to speak on camera. The Indian media's claims of a rapid return to normalcy in Kashmir are grossly misleading, said the report. They are based on selective reports from small enclaves in the center of Srinagar. Here is what the fact-finding team had to say. Listen.
The situation there is absolutely not normal. जो भी कह रहे हैं मीडिया के लोग यहाँ पे कि अगर कोई लोग कह रहे हैं कि सारी ऑल इज़ वेल, तो हम लोगों के मुंह से तो यही निकल रहा था कि ऑल इज़ वेल की जगह शायद ऑल इज़ हेल कहना ज़्यादा सही है, क्योंकि बहुत कष्टकर स्थिति है, बहुत।
कि जेल में जाने के बाद कैसा महसूस होता है, बिल्कुल वही पूरे कश्मीर में हमको नज़र आया।
हम लोगों को लगा कि पूरा कश्मीर बंद है, उसमें चंद एटीएम और चंद दवाई की दुकानें और कुछ अस्पताल छोड़ करके कोई भी चीज़ खुला हुआ नहीं था। यहाँ तक कि ईद के दिन भी रास्ते नहीं खुले थे। तो ईद के दिन जो लोग कह रहे हैं कि नॉर्मलसी का मतलब है कि लोग ईद का नमाज पढ़ रहे हैं, तो ये तो भाई बहुत लो बार है ना। ये तो भाई लोग अपने भगवान को भी याद न कर पाए तब तो क्या बात है, ये तो कोई चीज़ नहीं है। मामला था कि ईद का कोई जश्न का माहौल बिल्कुल नहीं था। छोटे छोटे बच्चों के अलावा कोई ईद मना नहीं रहा था।
The whole place was desolate, quiet, silenced, caged. लोग बेबस नज़र आ रहे थे, लोग humiliated नज़र आ रहे थे और लोग गुस्से में भी नज़र आ रहे थे।
What we saw and heard in Kashmir, across Kashmir, in the last few days is completely different from the official narrative that all is well. Is that the purpose of this military presence is not primarily to look for terrorists or to defend the border against Pakistan. The main purpose is to control the local population and to prevent any protest, however peaceful they may be. You can be certain that if you try to do as much as a candlelight vigil in any place in Srinagar, or you try to stand in the street with a simple placard saying reinstate 370, you will be packed off immediately, and God knows what will happen to you after that.
For our other big story, 6 accused in the Pehluu Khan lynching case have now been acquitted. The Alwar District Court on Wednesday, which is today, acquitted all 6 accused of lynching Pehluu Khan in April 2017, citing the benefit of doubt. Khan, a 55-year-old dairy farmer, was lynched in April 2017 when he was transporting cows to increase his produce for the month of Ramadan. He was confronted by a group of cow vigilantes who beat him as well as 2 of his sons. His sons survived the beating, but Khan succumbed to his injuries. The police had arrested 6 men in the case based on video evidence. The trial in the lynching case concluded on August 7, and more than 40 witnesses, including Khan's two sons, who were with him on the day of the incident, deposed in the case. An FIR was registered against 6 men under various sections of the Indian Penal Code, which is Section 143 of unlawful assembly, 323 of voluntary causing hurt, 341 for wrongful restraint, 308 for culpable homicide, 379 for theft, and 427 for destruction of property. The charge of murder was later added following Pehlu Khan's death. There are a total of 9 accused in the case, including 2 minors. One of the accused had also died later. While the 6 were cleared of the charges, the 2 minor accused are still facing charges in the juvenile court. Moving on to our other big story, there are large-scale protests that have erupted in the Narmada Valley over the submersion of villages. There are lives of about 32,000 families which are at stake. The valley has been witnessing a protest from about 5th of August post the government's announcement of filling up the Sardar Sarovar reservoir to its full capacity of about 139 meters, which is becoming a threat to the life and property of these 32,000 families affected by the rise in Narmada water. Villagers across Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat are now demanding rehabilitation. The protests had also blocked National Highway 3 yesterday for over 6 hours. The current protests were sparked after 5 people of Rajghat village in Madhya Pradesh were also electrocuted while trying to bring food to their families amid the flood. 2 of the 5 died on the spot, while the others are also undergoing treatment still. Apart from 33 villages in Maharashtra and 19 villages in Gujarat, 192 villages in Madhya Pradesh are in the process of submerging as water rise in Narmada, and the government of Gujarat have refused to open the gates of the Sardar Sarovar Dam in the Kevadia region of Gujarat. Activists of Narmada Bachao Andolan are sitting on an indefinite fast and have stated that they will take Jal Samadhi if authorities do not respond to their appeals. They have also written an open letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Here is what Medha Patkar had to say.
आज कल घाट में आगरा की तरफ यानी दिल्ली की तरफ जाने वाला रास्ता रोककर जो नर्मदा घाटी के किसान मजदूर मछुआरे केवल दुकानदारों तक को बैठना पड़ रहा है। वो इसलिए क्योंकि मौत को एक कगार पर ढकेली जा रही है नर्मदा की घाटी, जहाँ हजारों परिवार मूल गांव में बसे हैं। दुकान बाजार ही नहीं, मंदिर मस्जिद ही नहीं, घर द्वार भी है, छोटे उद्योग और कारीगरी है। ऐसे गांवों को जिंदा दिल मौत के घाट उतारना ये हमें मंजूर नहीं हो सकता है। 16 अगस्त को 34 साल पूरे हो रहे हैं नर्मदा घाटी के आंदोलन और बिना पुनर्वास डूब ना मंजूर करना ये कानून है, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले हैं। और ऐसी स्थिति में गुजरात और दिल्ली मिलकर अगर पानी भरने जाए 139 मीटर तक, मध्य प्रदेश सरकार ने कड़ी चुनौती देनी चाहिए। उन्होंने जीरो बैलेंस शिवराज सिंह जी सरकार बता रही थी, उसको 6000 तक तो हलाकर मंजूर किया, लेकिन मुद्दा 6000 तक खत्म नहीं होता है। पर्यावरणीय कार्य नहीं हुआ है, पुनर्वास का कार्य अधूरा है, आदेशों का पालन नहीं हुआ है। खेती वालों को वैकल्पिक जमीन गुजरात में खराब मिली, मध्य प्रदेश में कई जगह अतिक्रमित मिली। ये सब मुद्दे छुड़वाने के हजारों अर्जियां पेंडिंग है GRA के सामने, जहां रिटायर्ड जजेस बैठे हैं और वो बहुत धीमी गति से काम कर रहे हैं। तो ये धीमी गति से हो और जल्द गति से आए और लोग जल समाधि ले ले क्या? ये नहीं सहन हो रहा है नर्मदा घाटी के लोगों को। कल राजघाट में जो 2 लोगों की मौत हो गई, अगर पानी और बढ़ाया जाए तो सभी गांव के मुर्दों की गिनती करनी पड़ेगी। ये हमने कल ही कहा है, हमको ये मंजूर नहीं है। ये विकास नहीं होगा, विकास के नाम पर विनाश विस्थापन होगा। और गुजरात में अंबानी और अडानी को सबसे ज्यादा पानी दिया जा रहा है, इसलिए कच्छ के लोग, किसान लोग ये भी चिल्ला रहे हैं। तो हमारे त्याग पर मध्य प्रदेश को बिजली नहीं, गुजरात के जरूरतमंदों को पानी नहीं, तो किस लिए है निमाड़ और नर्मदा घाटी की मौत? यहाँ सर्वदलीय सर्व सहमति से मध्य प्रदेश के हित की और विस्थापितों के हित की भूमिका लेना हमें अपेक्षित है। हमें अपेक्षित है कि नर्मदा कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी, जिसमें एक पति पत्नी का राज चल रहा है, जिसमें क्षमता नहीं है इतने 1300 किलोमीटर की मां नर्मदा को नियमित और नियंत्रित करने की, उनको होश में लाया जाए।
Moving on, 2,000 families in Madhya Pradesh have won a fight against the state government for their housing rights. In Madhya Pradesh's Morena district, over 2,000 families have won a long-drawn battle against the state for their right to life and housing. The families were protesting indefinitely for over 8 days, gherawing the offices of the SDM and also the district collectorate. Reportedly, they had been living on the government land for generations. In an order which was passed by the state's High Court in 2012, the residents were asked to vacate the land. Since then, the families have been struggling to stake claims to their pattas and their individual housing rights. The protesters, majority of whom are women, took to the task of conducting surveys of the region themselves in the areas of Azad Nagar, Indira Colony, among others. Beginning their protests on the 1st of August, the collectorate, under pressure, has now agreed to the demands of conducting fresh surveys and providing these families with their pattas. The authorities have also sent a written proposal for the same to the Madhya Pradesh government, bringing the indefinite protest to an end. Moving on to Sikkim, where BJP is now the principal opposition party. The BJP has emerged as the opposition party without winning a single seat in the assembly elections and unable to bag more than 1.62% of the total votes cast. The overnight change of fortunes was brought about by the switchover of 10 of the 13 MLAs of the Sikkim Democratic Front, or the SDF, to the BJP. In the assembly elections held in April this year, the then ruling SDF was defeated by the Sikkim Krantikari Morcha, which is headed by PS Tamang, who is known as Gole. This SKM has won 17 out of the 32 seats in the assembly. On Tuesday, barring Pawan Chamling, the SDF Supremo, and the longest-serving Chief Minister of the Hill State and 2 other MLAs, all other elected members of the party joined the BJP. With the MLAs turning the BJP into an unelected opposition party, the SDF count has dropped to 3 members. Since the SDF is unlikely to support the SKM government, the two parties are likely to form a united opposition. The Central University of Tamil Nadu has also issued notice to its students for discussing Article 370. The discussion by a group of students on the central government's decision to abrogate Article 370 has drawn the ire of Central University of Tamil Nadu, which is located in Thiruvarur. The university has issued a memorandum to the students, 30 students, including 5 of them from Jammu and Kashmir, seeking an explanation on a meeting which was held by them in the campus on August 7th. The memorandum, dated August 9th, stated that the students breached the conduct of rules and the established procedures by assembling for a discussion on Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. The students are given 3 days' time to respond to this memorandum. Activists and members of the civil society are calling this as an effort to stifle discussion and expression. And we will keep following this story. That's all that we have for you today on the national section of the Daily Roundup.
We now move on to the international section and we begin with Saudi Arabia, where Lojain Al-Hathloul, a Saudi dissident who has been in jail since May 2018, is being pressured by state authorities to deny reports of torture in return for her freedom. According to her family, she has been brutally tortured and sexually abused while in jail. But now, Saudi authorities want her to appear on video and state that no such incident happened. She was arrested and tried along with 10 other activists in a procedure that was marked by irregularities. Lojain, who is 28-year-old, has been jailed several times by Saudi authorities for defying the ban on women drivers and campaigning against the male guardianship law. The authorities charged her with attempts to destabilize the kingdom. A smear campaign was also launched against her on social media, branding her a traitor. We now move on to Peru, where on August 12th, the country's mining council sent an official notice to the Mexican mining company Southern Copper Corporation, temporarily suspending the license granted for the construction of the Tia Maria copper mining project. However, the inhabitants of the Tambo Valley in Islay province, where the mine is located, rejected the government's decision and announced that they would continue the indefinite strike that they have been carrying on for the last 1 month. Since July 15th, thousands of farmers and inhabitants of the Tambo Valley have been mobilizing against the right-wing government of President Martin Vizcarra, which authorized the construction of the long-resisted mining project. This project has raised concerns about the negative consequences on the environment and agriculture. In addition, since August 5th, the agricultural, educational and civil construction workers of the whole region have been striking in solidarity with the inhabitants of Tambo Valley. Dozens of mobilizations across the region, as well as in the capital Lima, have been carried out, rejecting this mining project. The protesters have time and again blocked access to several important highways and ports in the region. The inhabitants, farmers, environmentalists, as well as workers and provincial and regional authorities are demanding a definite end to all mining activities in the region and not just a suspension. And finally, we go to Hawaii, where after 4 weeks of being shut down by native Hawaiians and their allies, the 13 Mauna Kea Observatories are set to open. This happens after the government of Hawaii and the protesters have struck a deal. According to the deal, it has been agreed that the state government can build a temporary access road around the protest camps that are currently occupying the main road. This will allow the existing observatories to be reopened and resume their work, while also permitting peaceful protests to continue. The government has also assured the protesters that they will be in the know of who all access the summit of Mauna Kea to the temporary road. This is to ensure that nothing related to the construction of the controversial 30-meter telescope gets through. This is a major victory for native Hawaiians who consider the mountain Mauna Kea sacred and have opposed the project for nearly a decade. On the other hand, this summit has also been identified as among the rare sites in the world that are near perfect for astronomical observations, causing a lot of debate about what has to be done. The protest against the construction of the telescope brought out historical injustices committed by white colonial settlers and the United States against native Hawaiians ever since the annexation of the sovereign nation of Hawaii into the US in 1893. This has brought back memories of state-sponsored cultural genocide that included desecration of native lands. That's all we have in the international section.
And with this, it's a wrap on this episode of the Daily Roundup. To follow these stories and many more, log on to our website www.newsclick.in, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching.